The war of words between Britain and the EU has begun ahead of next month's trade talks. But as Britain sets its own course on everything from immigration to fishing, there is one area where the battle for influence is only just kicking off. The future regulation of artificial intelligence.As AI becomes a part of our everyday lives. From facial recognition software to the use of black box algorithms, the need for regulation has become more apparent. But around the world, there is rigorous disagreement about how to do it. Last Wednesday, the EU set out its approach in a white paper, proposing regulations on AI in line with European values, ethics and rules. It outlined a tough legal regime, including pre-vetting and human oversight, for high-risk AI applications in sectors such as medicine and a voluntary labeling scheme for the rest. In contrast, across the Atlantic, Donald Trump's White House has so far taken a light touch approach, publishing 10 principles for public bodies designed to ensure that regulation of AI doesn't needlessly get in the way of innovation. Britain has still to set out its own approach, and we must not be too late to the party. If we are, we may lose the opportunity to influence the shaping of rules that will impact our own industry for decades to come. This matters, because AI firms, the growth generators of the future, can choose where to locate and which market to target, and will do so partly based on the regulations which apply there. Put simply, the regulation of AI is too important for Britain's future prosperity to leave it up to the EU or anyone else. That doesn't mean a race to the bottom. Regulation is meaningless if it is so lax that it doesn't prevent harm. But if we get it right, Britain will be able to maintain its position as the technology capital of Europe, as well as setting thoughtful standards that guide the rest of the Western world. So what should a British approach to AI regulation look like? It is tempting for our legislators to simply give legal force to some of the many vague ethical codes currently floating around the industry. But the lack of specificity of these codes means that they would result in heavy-handed blanket regulation, which could have a chilling effect on innovation. Instead, the aim must be to ensure that AI works effectively and safely, while giving companies space to innovate. With that in mind, we have created 4 principles which we believe a British approach to AI regulation should be designed around. The first is that regulations should be context-specific. AI is not one technology, and it cannot be governed as such. Medical algorithms and recommender algorithms, for example, are likely to both be regulated, but to differing extents because of the impact of the outcomes. The consequences of a diagnostic error are far greater than an algorithm pushing an irrelevant. For more on this story, visit the news article link.